Michigan apple growers are indebted to the gigantic glacier of the last ice age. The glaciers, in their retreat, scooped out the Great Lakes and the thousands of smaller Michigan lakes to create a unique and near perfect growing condition for flavorful apples. Apple trees need a cold winter dormant period, and the Midwest has plenty of cold winter weather. But come spring, apple blossoms need protection against the late frost, and Michigan's lakes temper cold spring winds. Then again in the autumn, Michigan's lakes help protect the apple crop by postponing the early freezes and permitting late varieties to mature to juicy, crisp perfection in the lazy autumn sun.
Grandpa, I love apple pie. Why do your apples taste so good?
Oh, Jenny, all Michigan apples taste good.
Why do you like to grow apples?
Well, let's take a walk, and I'll show you why it's so much fun to grow Michigan apples.
Okay.
I'll bet you think nothing is happening in the apple orchard during the winter, right? Wrong. Farmers work all winter helping the trees get ready for spring. This is when the farmer prunes the trees. It's a little like when your mom tells you what is right and what is wrong if you want to be the best. When spring comes, the snow goes away and the apple tree begins to wake up. This is a very busy time for the farmer. He must get the brush from pruning all cleared away so he can get down the rows of trees with his equipment. Can you believe a little flower will one day be a big red apple? That's just what happens, and I'll tell you how. A honeybee flies from blossom to blossom in the apple trees. The bee thinks he is just gathering pollen to take back to the hive, but he is also helping the farmer by pollinating the apple blossoms. This is how an apple starts to form. When the weather conditions are favorable, trees set more apples than they can carry. It becomes necessary to thin off some of the smaller fruitlets. This can best be done with a chemical that is sprayed on the trees. Weather conditions are very critical when the apples are tiny. If the temperature goes below 32 degrees and stays for several hours, it can kill the new little apple. The wind is very helpful. A wind machine mixes the warmer and colder air together, lessening the chance for the frost to damage the apples. Michigan State University and the Cooperative Extension Service play a vital role in growing fruit. They hold meetings where farmers can gather to share and learn new and better ways to grow apples. Integrated Pest Management, IPM, is a concept that has gained acceptance since it started nearly 20 years ago. Through the use of insect traps and an orchard scout, growers are better able to determine when to apply the necessary sprays to the trees. Spring is also the time for planting new trees, some with new names like Empire and Gala, and trees that grow redder Jonathans and McIntosh, better tasting Golden Delicious. Remember, not all apples are red. It will take these new trees about 4 years before they produce a crop of apples. Many people think you just plant an apple tree and wait for apples, and that's just not true. The tree needs continual attention from the day it is planted and on through the 4 years, if it is to be a healthy tree with nice big apples. Farmers work many days bending the limbs so the tree grows into a shape which is strong. As summer progresses, the sunny days and moisture from the rain make the apples grow large and flavorful. Apples get ripe about the time you go back to school. In Michigan, one of the first apples is the Paula Red. Michigan is known as the variety state because we have the ideal growing conditions for many different apple varieties. Some of the most popular are Paula Red, McIntosh, Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Ida Red, Rome, Spy, and Jonathans. We are the #1 producer of Jonathan apples. The farmer must watch closely as each variety is nearing maturity, meaning ready to pick. He watches for color, firmness, and taste. Apples are picked very carefully, handled much like you would an egg. If the apple is bumped hard, it won't break, but it will bruise. Newer plantings of apple trees are semi-dwarf or dwarf, meaning they are a smaller tree. This makes it much easier to pick and care for. The apples are put in pallet bins and moved in the orchard by tractors with forks and by box shovels. The bins are gathered together to be loaded on semi-trucks and quickly hauled to one of three types of facilities. A refrigerated storage, much like your own refrigerator. These apples are used during the fall. Controlled atmosphere, CA storage, where the apples are stored and won't be sold until the winter and early spring. In this type of storage, the apples are put to sleep by drawing most of the oxygen out of the room. When it is time to sell them, oxygen is pumped back into the room, waking them up. They taste like they were just picked, nice and crunchy. Certain varieties are picked for processing, like apple pie, apple sauce, baby food, apple juice, and sweet cider. In Michigan, about 65% of our apples are processed in this way. The storage apples we spoke of are for the fresh market. When it's time to sell them, they are put on a grading line to be washed, brushed, sorted, and sized. Smaller ones go into bags, and larger ones go into trays to be sold individually. The apples are boxed and sent out on trucks to supermarkets to be sold. The consumer takes the apples home to eat out of hand or make good things to eat like apple pie, apple sauce, baked apples, or a delicious snack, a fresh caramel apple sundae. Well, that's the apple story. It's a long summer till that little flower is an apple, and a lot of things happen to an apple before you eat it. Well, Jenny, I'll bet you're a little surprised in all it takes to make a good Michigan apple so tasty. And I'll bet that you didn't know that a good apple farmer works so hard to make it all happen.
Well, that was a great story. If you keep on growing them, I'll keep on eating them.